Mic test. Do you mic test?
My bad.
Yeah. He the veteran over here. I'm over here.
I'm in the whole other world.
I'm in mode, but you know he.
I'm in the whole other world. I'm back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we live.
Oh, okay, my bad.
That's all good.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. It's your boy Kevin Thorne. You're tuned in to the Wellness Architecture. We can kind of, get everything together. So just excuse the early response. It's your boy Kevin Thorne again. If you got some, we're gonna have an amazing show. By popular demand, we got the men's roundtable. I have it once a month. I got my fellas coming in today. I got Music Monk here already, and Lyris is on his way. We never know who else is going to come and stop by and have a conversation with us. But, we're going to talk about various topics. But, relationships is going to be part of the topic of always. So, please tune in. Logging in online, go to www.statusnetwork.net. If you follow me on Facebook Live, please share it to your friends. So, it'll be a very interesting show. Please call in at 470-251-4647. Once again, 470-251-4647 with any comments, questions, or concerns. We're going to get right to it. Music Month. For those who live under the rock and don't know who you are, please tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Hey, what you just said gave me chills, man. Like, I'm not known. Like, y'all know me. Y'all know me. A handful of people know me. I am Music Monk ATL. I'm just about all things learning and growth right now. I mean, my manifestation and what I like to talk about comes through music. Mm-hmm. I like to show the connectivity between history, music creation, evolution, spirituality, all those things. You know what I'm saying? So all of that and combined into one Music Monk.
Okay.
Which anybody can be a Music Monk. You know what I'm saying? You Music Monk architect. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
wellness architect.
Music is my thing too. But you got me beat on some things though, for sure.
Like I said earlier, my brother, is definitely not a competition. I try to learn. I try to learn.
That's how we're gonna start the segue in while we waiting on everybody else to come in. You are very good at what you do.
Appreciate it.
You know a lot about music. I think you have a very eclectic taste. So you're not just hip hop and R&B. You know rock. You know alternative, all that kind of stuff. So and you know it very well. With that being said, I think anybody consider themselves an expert in anything, whether it's you with music, me, health and wellness, and personal development. You go always get the naysayers who's gonna say or feel that you think you know everything.
All right.
How do you take that? How do you receive that?
When I was younger, I felt like I had to prove something. Mm-hmm. So I felt like sometimes I had to grandstand or get on my soapbox or try to figure out a way. You know what I mean? But then I just started thinking about it. Like one of my best friends. Shout out to Rose Red, TSI Creative, Mutron Angel. You know what I'm saying? Those are my best friends or whatnot. But one day we were having a conversation and she was just like, "It's you. It's always been you." Mm-hmm. And what she was just saying was that, you get that because everybody sees your talent, but you're kind of you're like, I don't know, should I do this, should I do that? She's like, no, bro, like it's you. When you do things, when you speak, it just puts people on. It just puts people on notice. It just brings people. It just gives people attention. I'm like, I don't do anything flashy. I just, I don't know whether or not it's my articulation, whether or not I look like Emmitt Smith. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I mean, like I said, I'm just all about growth, man. And I just noticed that when we have dialogue about, especially living in Atlanta. Atlanta is just, it has, transitioned to become like this entertainment mecca.
Right.
So it's like everybody has their hands in entertainment. Everybody has their hands in music, promotions, and it's a great thing. But the ego, I believe, grows unintentionally with that as well. You know what I'm saying? Because, on one hand, we want to view ourselves as kings and queens, which we are, but there still has to be a measure of modesty,
right,
along with it, and character and all that good stuff. So I just try to be the anti of all the flash and show. I just try to show my individuality and like how I treat people,
right,
especially when we're having debates about things.
Yeah, I just think, like you said, and I always agree that there's no competition. So there's several health coaches out there and several life coaches out there.
Right.
I'm not in competition with nobody.
Right.
All I'm in competition is being the best me I can be, and with that, I attract who I need to attract to come to me. I think with you are, wherever you decide the lane you try to create for Music Month, the sky's the limit, because you know what you do, and you're not in competition with you, because you are very you want to be the best at what you do. So you're gonna end up creating it. So whatever lane you decide to do, it's gonna happen.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'll make sure I'm taking mental notes. I'm ingesting all of the positive energy. But I want to congratulate you though, because obviously, I mean, we met through the previous location, and we've been doing some shows or whatnot, and what I'm saying, we developed a bond, and like your energy is so calming. That's why I always jump at the chance to come in and converse with you, because I know when I leave, I'm gonna leave like, I'm gonna leave, like more knowledgeable.
Yeah.
But like I'm gonna have a little bit more calmness. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because your energy is infectious. So I'm getting my dose of calmness for the week. It's Monday. Y'all, you can cut me off in traffic all you want to. I'm not getting mad. I'm good, man. I'm in the wellness architect today, so
I appreciate that. I intentionally try to be like that, because I think I set the tone of the energy I want to have. So those who come in here, I give them a calm vibe, so I make them feel comfortable.
Right.
So then, therefore, I get the best out of them.
You do. Yeah, you do.
Like when EC did her show with me. That was an amazing show.
Yeah. Shouts out to EC, man. Ain't seen you in a while.
She did an amazing job, and I made sure she felt comfortable. But there too, one of the ladies that was sitting next to me, Miss Lydia Pickett, she was nervous because she didn't want to be on TV like that. But I made her feel comfortable too, to where she just felt comfortable just to start talking, and I got good radio from it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's just the main thing. So what's next for Music Month ATL?
What is next? Well, I work in education. So, excuse me. I'm very blessed and thankful to be in the position that I'm in. I'm able to reach a lot of students. I don't necessarily have to be tied down into one particular four set of walls. So I'm looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to connecting with some students, seeing them progress, prosper, grow, mature. For myself, I've been working on my health and wellness all year, whether or not it be physical, emotional, spiritual well-being. So that's really what I've been doing, because I figured out once again that I was kind of holding myself up from a lot of things. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get up in the morning. I'm gonna hydrate, meditate, do some push-ups. You know what I'm saying? So I feel myself coming down, getting more creative. You know what I mean? I'm just
What's funny is
birthday this month.
Oh, what you gonna do?
Yeah, man.
What we gonna do?
I'm gonna be thankful, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna be thankful, man. I'm gonna do something for somebody else. I mean, it's my birthday, but I'm gonna do something for my people.
I like that. But what's funny is, though, it's been times where me, you, and Larry go out after the show or whatever, and I just throw something out there, for both of y'all to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not gonna say he don't listen to what I say, but you listen, and you might not say nothing to me at that time, but maybe when we are together, getting ready to do another show, you gonna hit me up and say, okay, I heard what you said, and you took thought to what I said,
yeah,
and and you like, okay, I applied it to it, so I purposely do what I do because I know some of the things. I hear things like, okay, let me say this. Now I walk away with that.
Right.
I get you, but I do appreciate the fact you do pay me some attention.
Hey man, look man, my mom ain't raised no fool, and I realized that you can learn a lot. You can learn from everyone.
Right.
I think like I said, I'm not the most religious person, but I'm very, very spiritual. But I was reading an article about T.D. Jakes, and he was like, eat the meat, discard the bones.
Right.
Well, some people leave you with very little meat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And some people leave you with they give you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you start looking at it like that, I don't want no little flat little chicken wing. I want to be a big old king size turkey wing. And that's kind of knowledge and inspiration that you provide. You know what I mean? You don't give it out in sample sizes.
I appreciate that.
Ain't no tappers over here, bro. This is 7 courses. 7 courses.
So give the listeners what you think is some the hot music they need to listen to right now, whether it's for them to work out to just relax to, or whatever. It could be hip hop, R&B, whatever.
So like I said, this is my birthday month. I celebrate my birthday every Labor Day weekend. That's typically when it falls on somewhere in there. So there's a lot of end of summer concerts.
Yep.
So this year, are we good? Oh, gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. So like every year I have a ton of concerts that I line up. So last night I kicked it off with J. Cole's KOD tour, which was amazing. KOD, I know people feel like J. Cole is boring because he doesn't provide features on his albums, but that young brother is light years ahead.
Yeah.
Of a lot. I think we're going to look back at J. Cole's career in the next 5 to 10 years, and we're gonna be like, wow, we really, we didn't know what we had at the time. You know what I'm saying? And
if you ever listen to him talk in interviews, the very few,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So so J. Cole last night, it was a great show. I've been listening. Like I said, I was listening to KOD on the way down here because if it's not like. I'm not super big on like a lot of hip hop, just because I'm still concerned with the messages and the images that we're injecting into the music. But I value it and I appreciate it and I respect it. But I've been listening to if you guys kind of like Caribbean reggaeton kind of vibe, there's an artist that goes by the name of Santiago. And I've been listening to Santiago for a while. Actually, I was listening to Santiago before I knew who Santiago was. There was an alternative R&B before it was an alternative R&B, like an alternative soul artist by the name of Reese.
Right.
And Reese lived down here for a while. And Reese's first album is called How I Am. And Santiago, i.e. Santi White, out of Germantown, Philadelphia, she wrote and produced most of that album. And this was in the early 2000s. It may have been like 2000, 2001. You know what I mean? So fast forward to about 2009, she comes out with her first solo album. Santiago had Les Miserables. Les Artistes. It had Lights Out, Starstruck. She came out with another album, Master My Make Believe. 99 Cent came out, and then she just released like a Caribbean reggaeton inspired type of album, The Gold Fire. So I've been bumping The Gold Fire. I'm a Travis Scott fan. I know a lot of people are like Travis Scott, but honestly, Travis Scott's his between Rodeo, Birds in the Trap, St. Brian McKnight, and Astro World, the brother's definitely here to stay. I value his music. The message I want him to get better on. Right. But at the same time, it's not my place to judge or calculate someone's growth. So that's kind of what I've been listening. Oh, B.O.B. B.O.B. dropped a project called Naga, and B.O.B. has been very controversial the last few years or so. And I listened to his Elements mixtape, and then he released an album called Ether. And Ether came out last year. I think that may have been his last album tied to Grand Hustle, and then he released Naga this year, and he's basically.
So is he independent now?
He's independent now.
Okay.
Yeah, B.O.B. is independent. I mean, shouts out to Bobby Ray, man. Like I know folks coming down on you. We ain't got to agree on everything for me to respect and love your music. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out, man. If you ever get a chance to see this, I would definitely love to sit down and talk to you one day. But I've been listening to Naga, and you know, a lot of the message in there is just wake up. Just wake up. I mean, you know, you don't have to automatically dismiss something because it seems so far-fetched. Right. I think sometimes people throw things out there in a way to kind of trigger to trigger a thought. They may not be the most precise in it. But let me tell you what I really want to talk about though.
Okay.
while we waiting on our peoples. So recently I found out that one of my favorite groups growing up. Now we always talk about this because you know, like I'm an '80s baby, so I grew up in the '90s. So when we talk about R&B, the very first group, your introduction to R&B, if you're in my generation, is going to be like Boyz II Men, Jodeci, right? I'm the Jodeci guy,
right?
All day long. You know what I'm saying? Now I did like 2, which was their Boyz II Men's second album, but Jodeci was it for me. And then a few years later, there was this group connected to Jodeci by way of, I think Mr. Dalvin was the one that was involved with Blackground. I think he was the one that linked up with Timbaland, Aaliyah, Missy, you know what I mean? Well, within that group, within that consortium, there was an R&B group by the name of Playa.
Yep.
And Playa had one album, it was Cheers to You, and I sang Cheers to You like all through my senior year. I got to West Georgia. I was like, y'all, I'm about to hit y'all with this thing y'all don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it was just, Playa was just like, it really resonated with me.
Right.
My favorite album, the album's called Cheers to You, only one album. When Def Jam created Def Soul,
right,
Dru Hill was on Def Soul, right? Playa was also on Def Soul. And Playa's second album, their sophomore, was supposed to come out shortly after Enter the Dru. Well, what happened was turn of the century, management changes, you know what I mean, money not, I mean, you know, an R&B division of a label usually gets the least amount of money because R&B had been on a decline culturally since maybe like after maybe like 93, you know what I mean, 94. You could really see, now people were still doing their thing, but you could see overall that there was a decline, right? So I just recently found out, man, like when y'all come to Wolf Creek, I know y'all coming to Wolf Creek, the 2 surviving members of Playa have been added to Dru Hill.
Really?
Yes. So, man, shots out, man. I'm going to meet y'all. We're going to chop it up. Smokey Black, man. Rest in peace, Static Major. You guys have probably been listening to Playa and didn't even really know Playa's influence. If you guys like Lil Wayne, when Lil Wayne was at his peak and he had Lollipop,
that was Static.
The gentleman that was in the video, you know, kind of doing this thing with the auto-tune, that was Static Major. Unfortunately, we lost Static Major to a brain aneurysm shortly after that video. So we never really got to see Static's production level like with the new, because I think with what we're doing with the technology and the style and everything that we're doing now, I think Static Major would have fit in, because Lollipop was like the way it sounded, it was ahead of its time.
Right.
So we're gonna have Dru Hill and we're gonna have the 2 surviving members of Playa. So now when they do go on tour, I'm gonna get to see Cheers to You like live. Like I'm gonna get to see I'm Bugging Over You. I'm gonna see, like that whole album, man. Like that whole album was just beautiful, man. So that's really
so
like
when they coming here?
Huh?
When they coming here?
It's not a matter. I mean, it's just a matter of the scheduling.
Okay.
I literally just found out that Playa, which makes sense because they made connections at Def Soul.
Right.
And since a lot of the money went to Dru Hill's Enter the Dru project, because I mean, you know, back then they were doing like $500,000 $1 million videos. Yeah. The budgets were being eaten up by a lot of the theatrics. And Playa is not a theatrical type of group. They are a down south, Virginia based, you know what I mean? Even, you know, Virginia's kind of confused sometimes about whether it's the South or not, but they was in the Confederacy,
right.
So it's the South most definitely.
But Enter the Drew, that was my
man. Enter the Drew, man. Enter the Drew is really. I mean, when you think about Drew Hill, you know, you have the Drew Hill album, and then you have Enter the Drew.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, once again, because of the rise, the meteoric rise of hip hop and just hip hop in general, a lot of R&B acts, they tried to do more hip hop stuff, but it doesn't resonate well. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, so from that era, that I appreciate Playa. I appreciate Carl Thomas. You know what I mean? It's just some of those artists that just really did like some down home singing. You know what I'm saying? Some singing. So, you know. But yeah, man, I'm pretty sure they're gonna come to Wolf Creek, because I mean, who doesn't go? I mean, Wolf Creek is the 21st century chilling circuit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, man, super excited about that. I'm excited about a lot of stuff in music, man. Going to see Childish Gambino next month.
I should know.
You already know, man, dude. I flew out to Cali, man, to go to the Pharaoh show, man. Like, I was actually, you know, I saw him perform "Awaken My Love" twice, man. Saw Redbone, saw him in this. You know, what he was doing then was like a mix between Andre 3000 at the Grammys 2004 when he did Hey Ya, and Avatar.
Okay.
Combination of that visually. So I'm excited to see Bino. I think I'm gonna go see Wiz Khalifa next week. Also next week I'm gonna go see this blues guitarist by the name of AJ Gent. I want to talk to you too, young man. You doing your thing. Who else am I going to see? Like I said, this is the type of stuff I do around my birthday. I just stack up concerts and all that stuff.
I know this young guy, a friend of mine from high school. She's down here, and her son's getting ready to graduate from high school. I think he goes to like a performing arts school or whatever.
Okay.
So he's big on like screenwriting and all that kind of stuff. So he's looking at, it's two schools he's looking at, USC.
Okay.
That's where Shonda Rhimes went.
Right.
And he's looking at NYC. That's where Donald Glover went.
Right.
So he's like a really big Donald Glover fan. He just like everything that he does. So I just think Donald Glover I think people don't really understand how important this man is to the culture. It is. But then I was listening to...
You gotta open it up for me, boy. You know how I feel about Bino, man.
But what's crazy is, on the way here, I was looking at this video on YouTube called Hollywood Unlocked with Jason Lee. And he had his managing editor on. And so she was talking about, he said that she's very pro-black, but she's dating a white guy. And she said, just because I love someone of opposite race does not deter how black I am, i.e. Donald Glover. Because, you know, everybody gave him the business for his video, his song, This Is America, but yet he got a white girlfriend. What you think about that?
I don't care. Well, I didn't mean to, be all extra dramatic about it, but Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, or Bino as I refer to him as, for me is just one of the best artists for me of the last 10 years. Like of the 2000s, of new artists to pop out. I think his trajectory over the past 8 years has been second to none. The diversity and talent that he has is, I'm not saying that he's a perfect writer, a perfect artist, a perfect rapper, a perfect singer, but this young man he paid attention to Outkast. You know what I mean? He paid attention to the artist, and this is the reason why Outkast had him open up for the At Last concert that was September 27, 2014. So it was Rory, Bino, and Cudi, right? That's when I became a Bino fan. I went back and I listened to Because the Internet. Now, what a lot of people don't realize, they're like, Childish Gambino, man, who is this new guy? Well, Childish Gambino was nominated for Rap Album of the Year in the 2014 Grammys. He lost to Kendrick that year. You know what I mean? Because it was Kendrick. Kendrick had, he had everyone's ears. And Donald Glover, the reason why I relate to him is because he's a nerd rapper. And you know, I mean, I know I look like I'm a tough guy, but I'm a geek. You know what I mean? And I relate to his struggle of kind of being the cool, you know what I'm saying, like the cool nerd guy, but it's like, oh, that nerdy guy, like he does weird stuff. Well, it's okay to be weird. You know what I'm saying? And with Bino, like if you guys like, okay, so for example, my favorite album of 2012. My favorite album of 2011 was House of Balloons, Weekend. That introduced a whole new sound. 2012, my favorite album was Channel Orange. That's Frank Ocean. Introduced a whole new sound. 2013, I was slipping. I had no idea. Like my friends were telling me, they was like, dude, it's this guy, man. You would really like this dude. I was like, I don't want to hear no Childish Gambino. Like it didn't even dawn on me that we were like kindred. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard him perform, he performed Bonfire at Centennial, and there's a line in Bonfire. He says, man, why does every black actor gotta rap some? I don't know. All I know is I'm the best one. And when the beat dropped, I thought to myself, I was like, well, I'll be doggone, he is the best rapper actor that I've heard. And I went and listened, like Kawhi had just came out, which was his it was Kawhi Stone Mountain, which was like a dual, like a mixtape EP. And I listened to that, and I went back and I listened to Because the Internet is actually crafted like Aquemini. It's crafted like these artists and albums, you know what I mean? They give you highs and lows, different genres, you know what I mean, kind of stretching the spectrum some. But Childish Gambino really, in a lot of ways, and it's funny because I'm grateful. My love for music and my passion for music, it always keeps me within like 1 or 2 degrees of my heroes. So one of my best friends, if you guys saw the Drake episode of Atlanta this past season, and it was really because Donald Glover, he's doing a lot of other stuff. So this season he wasn't in it as much, so he kind of built the stories around the other characters. So Van, who is his daughter's mother in the show, she was going out with her girlfriends for a party at Drake's house. Well, one of my best friends stole the show. She was the young lady who everybody gravitated toward this part. This was the part where she went off on the white girl about having a black boyfriend. She was sitting on it. She was like, "Yeah, I'm looking at you," and she just went off on her. You know what I mean? And like this amazing, repertoire of just giving all of the emotional reasons and the visual reasons and the historical reasons why black women have that feeling when they see a good brother, presumably with someone of another race. Which is funny that I'm talking about this episode because that was the initial question. But that's my best friend, man. Shout out to you, Danny, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how close we are. Appreciate you. But yeah, man. Donald Glover, man. Like I'm excited to go to that concert. Ray Shrummer. Yeah. People slept on, man. Don't sleep on Shrimp Life 3. Like you have to listen to the artist and what motivates them to make music. So Slim Jimmy, who is the other member, Sway Lee and Slim Jimmy, he's always been. Everybody, when it's a duo, because Outkast is the greatest duo, and arguably the greatest to me, they always a comparison when it's two of them. So Sway Lee is the one that's more like Andre, but Slim Jimmy, we haven't quite figured out like what his lane is. Well, he drew me in because he said in the interview before Shrimp Life 3, check it out, 3-disc album, and he said what they did was. He said, we went back and we researched Speaker Box Love Below. So as soon as I read that, I was like, you got me. You know what I mean? Because artists like Future and these other artists, they're talking about they created a style. No, you didn't. Because in 2003, Andre 3000 was wearing, between him and Cameron, I don't know who wore pink better. Right. So you haven't done anything new to inspire this new generation because you got it from something. And then for Future to say that he's from the Dungeon family, I'm like, Meathead, come on. If y'all don't know, that's what Future's name was before he was Future. He was called Meathead. But where was I going with this? So I was talking about Donald.
Ray Shrummer.
Ray Shrummer. So he said we wanted to be like Outkast, but what the difference is that we came back together. So what they did was they did a joint album, Shrimp Life 3, and then they did Swaycation, and then they did Slim Jimmy's part, which I don't know, but it's 9 songs apiece. To me, that lets me know that number one, Outkast is missed, severely missed, and severely needed to balance out some of this some of this wayward creativity. I value all creativity, but if it's, don't do it just to get likes. Do it because you want to have an impact.
Right.
And I'm concerned about how impactful a lot of this newer music is going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, because this year Criminal turns 20.
Right.
Are we going to be talking about some of these newer artists' albums celebrating a 20-year anniversary? Not saying that we won't, but I think time, when we talk about classics and we're talking about what's popping, you know, everybody wants to etch their name, you know what I mean, in the eternal lexicon, you know what I mean, of dialogue, man. It ain't, you know, just create good music, and create good music that you can have faith in, that you know you did right by your people that's listening to it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I know I said a whole lot there, but check out Stream Life 3 though. It's actually pretty good.
So we talked about some music, but let's talk about.
Get my water now. We gotta get serious. We about to get serious.
So what can we talk about as men? What have you been doing? I know you've been laying low for a minute. What can we do as men to become the best self, mind, body, and spirit? I asked you that because I already know you've been working on yourself. So
yes, it's not easy. It's not easy because we live in a microwave society. So we want instant results. You know what I mean? You just want to add water and get an instant, 3-course meal, right?
Right.
Well, what I had to realize was, like, that's not really how it works, and you can't be afraid. Like, if you're afraid, then you're gonna fall back into your old ways, because your old ways are comfortable. But I think fear is an indicator in certain ways that you're uncomfortable with something. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know, like it's unknown. So for me, I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing, man. I just, like, it's okay to take time for yourself. I know we feel like time is passing us by and everything is moving, it's constantly going. But if you don't take a chance to step back and let the lessons that you're trying to internalize, if you don't let them kind of like take root, then you'll keep making the same mistakes, even though you know better. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you got to give yourself, the reason why you cram for a test all night and you get a C, you get a C because it ain't stuck with you.
Right. You
know what I'm saying? But if you've been practicing, if you had put in the effort, put in a little extra 20 minutes for 3 days straight, then you'll get an A, because you will have better retention. And that's kind of the mindset that I've been taking, like, recently, because it just hasn't been working. Like, I think my desire, like I said, my birthday's at the end of the month, and I do have a lot to offer, and I do have a lot, a lot that I want to share with someone, with a special young lady. But I can't be upset, I can't be jaded, I can't lack patience. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that I can't do, because if I go into it, you can't go into a situation being frustrated. And I think dating and trying to find love in Atlanta, I think we go into it with a measure of frustration early on, because we got our guard up. We like, well, she just want my money, and she like, well, he just wanted my body. And at the end of the day, we all want everything. Right. You know what I'm saying? We all want everything, but for right now, I think it's been very, very important for me to I don't want to say work on myself, because now even that has been colloquialized. Like, hey, Duval, man. Hey, shouts out, man. Hey, that's my little big bro. He probably don't even remember me, but used to run the door Uptown when you was doing Tripping on Tuesdays. Man, I like what you've been doing. But the song "Living My Best Life" is kind of a reflection or a result of kind of like what our life is. Like, I think our life now, with the advent of social media, it's become more euphemisms and memes, and it's like everybody's super conscious, everybody's super woke, but then when you click off your app, like, what is it that you really applying? Right. So that's why you ain't seen me, because as much as I love to talk about music and I want to continue to develop my skill set, I don't have Facebook and Instagram on my phone right now, because it's a distraction. It's something about it that seems, first of all, I'm tired of seeing my brothers getting shot by these police officers. Number one, it's a lot of stuff I'm tired of. This is a lot of stuff that just kind of, it's kind of wearing me out. So
Yeah. I know social media is part of what we both need to do for what we do, but I have a love-hate relationship with social media.
Man, what are you saying?
Because it's a lot of negativity in there. And
false positivity is what I'm
calling
it. That's what I'm talking about. Like, look.
And it's just too much. And so I try to be on there as less as possible. I put my inspirational thoughts on there, and I'm out.
And you know what? That's what I do. Like every like once or twice a week, I'll go in and I'll pick up some nuggets. I'll see your inspirational quotes, and then once I get down to about the 5th or 6th thing on my news feed, and like I'm just noticing how so people, we will never ever be able to unify when we create. I'm talking about us as a people, like my people, my skin folk and my kinfolk. When I see stuff on my news feed, like us, never them, my life is better than your life, stuff like that, like it's pretentious to me.
Right.
Because if you gotta make hashtags to declare how great your life is, you really could be spending that time like actually existing in the greatness of your life, as opposed to trying to make other people. Yeah, like you don't have to put nobody on notice. You ain't got to make nobody feel bad.
Because does anybody really care?
Look.
That's the question.
I'm not saying that I don't. When I say I don't care, I'm not saying that I don't care for you.
Right.
But when I read certain things, it doesn't give me a lot of hope for our culture, because we do things within our own culture to divide us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So. If you see this and you did that, well, then it's you.
You ain't gonna hardly ever see me broadcast my stuff like that, because I have to ask myself, what's my intentions for doing it?
Right.
Am I doing this to get likes? Am I doing this because I want to impress the masses?
Right.
Or what's I'm doing it for? Because if it's not for a good purpose, then why am I doing it? Because I don't need to be, me, or anybody shouldn't need to seek the approval of other people to validate what we're doing.
Right.
You do great things, you don't need validation. You don't even seek it, but you know what I'm saying? I do my thing. I don't try to seek validation. No, and then when you do something like I did, I slipped up one time and I said I would never do it again.
What you do, man? What you do?
This guy reached out to me and he offered to he said he was wanted me to go to Essence.
Okay.
And usually I don't say nothing. I keep it close to my heart until it's done.
Right.
But I was so excited.
Which is brilliant. That's a brilliant way to move.
I was so excited because Essence would be like a big move for me. Mm-hmm. After everything I was going through at that time, I was like, boom. So I put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it fell through, not because of me, but just the fact that the guys went radio silent. And you get the feedback. Whatever happened to Essence, all this kind of stuff. I said, okay, I'll never do that again. I'll never do that again, because you got some who might be legitimately concerned about what happened. They was looking ready to support you. Okay, it was something that's going down there, so they looking forward to seeing me down there. But then some that wasn't even going down there. They just want to be that's nosy. And then when I say what I said, they didn't say anything to like uplift me. They probably like kind of questioning, was it I told them the truth in the first place? You know what I'm saying? So I just said, never again. I said, wherever jump off next, nobody will know it until
it's done.
Until it's done.
And it's unfortunate because I think as human beings, I think when it comes to relationships, I think we get a lot of information that's kind of diametrically opposed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? On one hand, people tell you that your network is your net worth, and you got to connect to people, and the game is to be told and not sold. I put my little spin on it, because I'm like, why would I ever sell you information as my brother? Like, I need you to know it so you can spread it. But I mean, that's just a different concept, which is fine. You know what I mean? All those things are fine. But then on the flip side is like, if you have 10 people that say they're your friends on social media, right? And you put your, and I'm just relating this to social media because that's what we're talking about. And you say, hey, I'm going to Essence Fest, and you get 10 likes. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, 9 out of those 10 people really, really genuinely support you. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the negative energy of that one person, it almost is level with the 9 people that got love for you. So it ain't the 9 people you got to watch out for the one person that's behind the scenes, cooking up. You know what I'm saying? Cooking up your demise for whatever reason. Right. I don't get it. Like, it's especially for people such as ourselves, and I'm lumping us together, in terms of like our heart and our spirit. Mm-hmm. Like I can tell, like, like we're giving people. Mm-hmm. We're not trying to take. We're really trying to give back to our environment. But unfortunately, like, most people are takers.
Yeah.
Most people are takers, and that's I think that's kind of their way of trying to see if they can kind of trip up what the universe has for you. Mm-hmm. But if you don't give it out, then they can't mess you up.
Right.
But then it's like, if you don't give it out, then how do you move forward? Right. So that's the dichotomy. It's like,
if you don't give it out, then how can you be given more?
Right.
Because you're not willing to give what you already have. And so, yeah, it's just, I just think, I think if we focus on trying to be, and see, I used to say that all the time, be your best self. But see, now that's being said all the time. That's like the new phrase, to be your best self. But you literally try to be your best self. You don't have time. I have no time to worry about what you're doing. As a friend, I would like to know, but I don't have time to be worried about what you're doing in the sense of I'm in competition with you, because you're not my competition. Now, hopefully, I'm not yours, because one person you should be competition with yourself to be yourself.
So the byproduct, the byproduct of recognizing your own internal greatness is you inspire envy and competition from other people. Mm-hmm. And you won't even know that you won't even know that there's a competition until you walk in the room and they're in the room. Mm-hmm. And they like, oh, I've been waiting on this moment.
Yeah,
I've been waiting on this. But your consistency is one thing that I desire. Mm-hmm. I desire to get better on my consistency, like in my tone. I'm very passionate about things. Mm-hmm. And passion is a great thing, but passion is also one of those things that, without being too morbid, passion will get you killed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I think too much of anything is bad for you, but I always try to pull from people to give me the opportunity to be like, you know what? No reaction is the best reaction. Yeah. Because your reaction is their power. Shouts out my dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Your reaction is their power.
So I try not to react.
So on social media, let's go back to social media. Everybody's a genius on social media. Yep. Everybody's an expert on everything, and you can't even really make a comment. So I'm gonna digress, but it's kind of still in line. The R. Kelly thing. Mm-hmm. So R. Kelly did this song and all this, and it was really, really, and I was saying that I wasn't going to mention his name because I felt like we hadn't been doing what we were supposed to be doing. Like protect the kids, protect the women. That's our goal. You know what I'm saying? But there was a young lady who most people on your social media, you don't know these people. You know what I mean? You may have had an association, loose association. You really only know about 5 people on your social media anyway. Right. So it was a young lady I went to college with. And she posted something about he's a genius, and I don't, like, it was just all of the stuff that if this was your child, it would not matter. Like, because I can ride a motorcycle and play guitar pretty decent, it doesn't mean that if I go out here and commit a crime, I'm not guilty. I'm not necessarily a bad person. Like, we have to be able to separate art from character.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't make responses to people's posts, you know what I mean? But in this particular case, it was so laughable. I just laughed some emojis, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, this matters not to me. And I fell into it, even though I didn't give her words. She came back and she was like, did I lie? It was like she was ready. She was like, did I lie? I'm ready to debate you on his greatness. I said, I'm laughing. I'm not debating. You're free to think however you want. No response. Now, if I had came to her and I had came to her with a paragraph long, you know what I mean? Like, well, it's this, and this, then we would have been going back and forth all day. And why? I don't even know you. Right. You know what I mean? I literally don't know you. Right. I care about you as a human being, but if you think that R. Kelly is great, then wait till he urinates on your daughter. Wait till he, drugs, you know what I'm saying? Like just wait till something like that happens to you. Period. None of the art matters. Right. It doesn't matter. I never said R. Kelly wasn't talented, but the brother got issues. Mm-hmm. But he manipulates. Do we know the story of the Pied Piper? Mm-hmm. Do the viewers know? The viewers know the story of the Pied Piper? The Pied Piper was hired. It's an old fable. He was hired by a village. The village had a rat problem. They couldn't figure out what to do with the rats. So they brought in the Pied Piper because he was very, very magical and melodic with his tunes. So he was just like, well, I'll come up with some tunes and it'll drive the rats away. Well, he did just that, and the village decided not to pay him. So he was like, all right, so that's what y'all want to do? So he redid his music, kind of tweaked it a little bit, and he used his music to lure all of the kids away. All of the kids away. R. Kelly calls himself the Pied Piper of R&B. Nah, you ain't got to be no genius, man, but dang. Hey, man, great minds think alike, man. Black T-shirt crew, then what we came to do, man. I almost wore something blue. That would have been ill-advised. Hey, my man.
Oh,
good to see you, bro.
Man, it's good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. We just over here, just politicking.
Doing what we do?
Yeah, man, doing what we do.
Tell everybody who you are, sir.
Oh, okay. All right, my name is Laris Hodges on Facebook. That's Laris Hodges, Hodges. Host of Beer and Conversation radio show that we will be continuing soon here at Status Network. So, joining Mr. Kevin Thornton.
Yes, sir.
Wellness architect. Music Monk ATL.
Yep.
So, what I miss?
Well, I'll let him talk about music for a little bit until you got here. We were talking about being our best self, and I know he had been kind of low key, and I was trying to figure out what was he doing that he can let the listeners know that they might be able to apply themselves on how he's becoming his best version while he's going through this journey.
I've been losing weight too, though. You know what I'm saying? Been losing weight, man. I'm down by 25 pounds since May. Usually I don't brag about stuff like that, but so I mean, I really I've been battling for a minute with it because I went through a serious bout of depression. And when you go through depression, like the molecules and your hormones and everything is all out of whack, and your body, your mind is like it's not in sync with your body.
Right.
You know what I mean? You feel you still operating, you know what I mean? But you're not operating efficiently. So, I worked on some things and realized, I gotta cut some people off, man. I gotta cut some folks off, man.
Yeah.
I had to cut some people off. Not that I don't love them. I just had to cut them off because, I was in a sense, I was serving them. And I wasn't serving myself. You know what I mean? Like, I serve my community. I can't serve an individual like that. That balance is unhealthy. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work on myself. I'm get my run on, change my diet. You know what I mean? Do a lot of fasting. I'm always hydrating. Whenever y'all see me with these cups, it's just water. Like, every once in a while I might have a little something, but... and I feel good, man. I feel good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shaping up, looking different, So
what was the point that you realized that you had to let go of some people?
People hurt you. You know what I mean? I have a big heart. Like, I love heart. Like, I mean, if you rock with me, like, I rock with you. You know what I'm saying? It's unconditional. But I had to realize, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gave a young man that I had been mentoring. I had gave him, just a little tidbit, and I said, when you study your behind off for a test, what do you expect to make?
Hey.
Exactly. That's the same way relationships operate. When you put your all into a relationship, you expect reciprocity. The problem is that people are different, and no one can give you something all the way to your expectations because it's a perception. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, reciprocity and mutual and all that, it's all perspective. So I had been putting out, I had A, expectations, mm-hmm. but I was getting C and D results from people.
Right. So,
you know what I mean?
When you have these expectations, do you let the people know what your expectations are?
So I'm glad you asked that. Yes and no.
Okay.
As humans, we typically we tend to funnel out. We tend to allow ourselves to be funneled into situations.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not we're friends because of proximity, neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's not really until you get older that you're able to dissect people's nuances and find out compatibility and things. So when you're younger, you just typically do things because of availability. Like, you know, like you might be friends with somebody because they sat next to you the first day in school or something. You know what I'm saying? That's not a true representation of who you guys are and how you guys are able to operate. And I think what happens a lot of times is that, you know, we are the worst when I say we, I'm just saying like humans kind of in general. Like, you know, we're like really, really bad communicators when we know something isn't right because of the fear of loss.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we don't speak up for ourselves because we're like, oh, I don't want to offend this person. I don't want them to think this. I don't want them to think that. But I'm here to tell you today, nothing is more valuable than peace.
Yep.
Nothing is more valuable than peace in your life. You know what I mean? So you can love. It can be family members. Like I had a close family member by choice because we have different types of family, and really, really, really just hurt me to my core. And it took me a minute to kind of rebound from it because I was like, wow, like I've only given this person my best. But what I had to realize was that when I look back on the history of our relationship, I never got their best.
Right.
I got what I don't know what I got, but it wasn't what I felt like I deserved. And I think that translates to friendships, jobs, relationships, but you got to get ballsy, man. You just got to get ballsy about your life, man. Your life is short. You know what I'm saying? Like, we here and then we're gone. I don't want to spend this time on earth wondering why folks hurt you. Folks hurt you because in essence, you giving them the leeway to do that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's not a knock on anybody. It's just, I just had to learn. You can't hurt what's not there. So.
So what's been going on with you, son?
Mr. Waves?
Yeah, well, I just came from work, and so that's why these pants are a little dusty. I stopped at my dad's house, and I had a fresh shirt in the car. You know, kind of did the whole bath, washed up under my arms and whatnot, and you know, so I'm here. You know, but I'm maintaining.
Whole bath. I'm just laughing at your whole bath.
Well, let me be clear. A kind of a semi whole bath, right? I just did the upper half.
Ooh,
you know,
the semi whole bath is the real whole bath.
Lord.
This one there. You out.
Right.
You ain't even scrub. You just.
Yeah, I wanted to get down here and at least make sure we had a good hour to really just kick the camera. But God is good, life's good. You know, bright days lie ahead. What about you? How's everything at where you are?
It's good. I've always do my best to try to change my energy level because what you focus on is what you get. So I try not to focus on any lacks because if I don't lack anything. So then therefore I try to focus on what I'm trying to achieve, and usually when I do that, I get more of that. So if it was a time where, you know, let's say financially you might need something, I don't focus on that, you know, because that's what you're focusing on is the lack of what you don't have. So what I do is focus on what I'm striving to get, and all the other stuff to me.
That's it.
That's what you do.
It's the key to life, man. You see, I had to.
I
was like,
yeah.
I'm like, man, we got work to do. Man.
A life. If you don't have faith in your life, you may as well go ahead and off yourself because you're gonna live a miserable life.
But you know, it's crazy. I always meditate, but now I've really been trying to stay tuned to wherever it comes to my spirit. So like a couple weeks ago, I had my family reunion, and so my mom's side is from Locust Grove, so we had it down in Locust Grove, and
okay, I see we're having too much fun.
Oh, y'all want to dial it back in? Is this a young lady asking?
Who asked that?
Okay. All right.
Well, right now,
3 single men, right?
right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go. I mean, I don't want to take over, but
ahead.
I mean, let's talk about. Let's
dive
about,
in.
Yeah, let's. I mean, our most recent experiences. Let's go ahead and
let's talk about the relationship.
let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it.
So, I'm gonna say this to y'all and let y'all go run with it. So, when I say everybody that I was gonna have the men's roundtable, one of the things they wanted me to talk to y'all about is that they feel like you guys are hurt, and that's something y'all spew out. Yes, sir.
Me and Larry.
Yes, sir.
Me and Larry. Me and Larry specifically.
Yes, sir. And that they want y'all. What is it that's hurting y'all? That's preventing y'all from being the great men that y'all are in relationships? Anyone first?
Yeah, I don't. I'm not hurt. If I can speak for myself, I was at times I was a little disappointed, right? Because I hit a spurt in my life where I really felt like the women who had been around me in an elective capacity, who had chosen to be around me, weren't around me when I needed encouragement and uplifting the most. I don't know if I would say I was hurt more as I was just disappointed. But disappointment comes from unfulfilled expectations, like kind of what was mentioned a little earlier.
Right.
The expectation is that if I see a down day, which for a long time we didn't, but if I see one, that you be by my side. Now, in all fairness, Allen Iverson gave a great Hall of Fame speech, inductee speech, when he said, "I appreciate people for showing me who they are." You know, even those who disappointed him, he appreciated that because he needed to see that too. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. But when I say what I say, it's because I'm trying to raise the awareness of individuals who may act in a selfishly or ignorantly selfish capacity, right? Because maybe this isn't malicious, the behavior, just the all in all selfish nature that I've seen from a lot of our women. And I don't know if it's a product of slavery. I always say all the time, deprivation did a lot to us, right? You know what I mean? And so there are people who are unvalidated if they don't have a certain amount of attention and given tangible financial gifts and have means around them. And I think that's because they lack the ability to look in themselves and get these things for themselves. But I saw a big difference in my life based off of when I had the financial means to do versus when I didn't. That's factual. I saw it across the board. There was no exception to that. So I'm not hurt. You know, I'm just I say what I say because it's the truth. And the bottom line is that we're dealing with, but I have a good story. I have a good recent story. But bottom line is that what we're dealing with, and I try to explain to brothers, to the men out there, is that, and a Muslim dude told me this a long time ago. He said, a woman's beauty is the biggest misrepresentation of who she is. You know, so I just say that to say to the brethren, I think that if you're like me and like most of us at times, you know, we look at the external, and beauty is definitely more than meets the eye. So to the credit of the things that I've been through recently, it's put me in a better posture to come across women, and I can really figure out who they are first. One, because I don't have the means to exhaust, you know what I mean? I'm in a much better place to build much more meaningful relationships, and I'm really thankful for that. And I mean, when you got things, you don't know who love you and who don't love you, who down for you and who's not. So, you know, I just want to clarify the hurt part. Right. I'm not hurt, but I am disappointed because I found out that these people were liars. Right. I mean, and I'm not going to not call that. I'm going to call it how it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Under fear of retribution, under fear of somebody calling in, they lying. They lie about everything, man. And it is so. I mean, blatant questions that I've asked, and I've been given. And I'm a man. I don't skirt around and ask roundabout. I ask the direct question, and they lied. Every last one of them. And that's just what it is. That's what we're dealing with. And I don't want to deal with that, right. You know. So I'm not. They lied. Bottom line, they talk about Jesus all the time. They don't forgive people. That's contradictory. They lie. Look, man, I'm not here to make friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to tell the truth.
I'm trying to do good cop, bad cop, but my goodness,
I'm
man.
I'm sorry.
No.
Keep going.
Yeah, you're good, man.
They are the most unforgiving Jesus believers that you ever come across. I mean, it is just crazy. You know, and so I talked to. Matter of fact, I'm working on at the warehouse today, and this young man says to me, he's 29. He says, man, he's like, can I ask you something? I said, yeah, go ahead. He gets telling me about his relationship. And he cheated on this girl, and that was wrong.
Absolutely.
You know, he didn't come out. He said, man, yeah, me and my girl had a fall out. I was like, you cheated? He said, yeah, okay. But he gets caught in her crib because he don't have a crib. And this is what's making us look bad out here.
Right.
These unrealistic Tyler Perry type situations, Tyler Perry movie situations where this guy is older than the woman. He ain't got a place to stay, so he's staying with her. He sells the girl some weed in her house and ends up sleeping with the girl who came to buy the weed from him. So it's just an all-around bad situation. She comes home early from work, catches him. And, you know, so now you're dealing with betrayal, lying, hurt, embarrassment, all of these things. And he said, what do you think I should do? I said, I think you need to leave that situation alone.
ASAP.
Because you will.
ASAP.
20 years from now, she's going to bring this up again.
ASAP.
You just need to go ahead and start over.
Right. Before you go, I want a piggyback. I want you to hold your answer.
No, I got you. I'm good. You said a lot.
Because, you know, my man here, this my dude, right?
Hey, this our dude, man. You know, we rock with Larry's.
But the ladies that listen to Bearded Conversation, listen to my show, they have a love-hate relationship with Mr. Larry Hodges. And the thing they wanted me to make sure I asked you is, why do you think people feel they feel that you come across as a male chauvinist? Do you want to dispute that?
Absolutely. I take pride in being a man, and I think that our community and our women will be better suited more with men who take pride in being a man, who look forward to being a protector and a provider. You know what I mean? That look forward to making the tough decisions and living with the success and failures of those tough decisions.
And what? And failures.
And failures. And willing to live with that. Willing to apologize. Real men apologize when they make mistakes. They say that they're sorry. And so that's the way that a man should be. Now, you do have these new age men who probably you wouldn't identify as chauvinists. They don't care. You know, they got Usher has come out with songs like I don't mind, you know what I'm saying? If you get on a pole as long as you coming home. No, I don't agree with that shit. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I forgot this is Monday motivational. I don't agree with stuff like that, okay? And if that makes me a chauvinist, then I'm proud of it. There's certain things that are just not okay. And at some point we got to stop. I hear there's a push to make people who are pedophiles be classified. You know, at some point this stuff has got to stop, guys. I mean, and the bottom line is that you know, I feel that there are certain things that, as we talk to Charles Rice, shouts out to Big Homie.
Hey man,
you know
we miss you,
Sensei.
man. We miss you,
sure do miss Charles
Teach, man.
What keeps a woman in a childlike state where she needs leadership is her inability to recognize when she makes a mistake. You know, adults are people who make mistakes and they recognize them and they look at their life and they say that my life is going where it is because of me and not blaming other people. When you don't take accountability, that makes you a child. You cannot be an adult. I can't be a man unless I take accountability. And so I think that women need leadership, period, point blank. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Not every woman is the same, as just like you have some birds that every bird that I know just about flies, but ostriches don't. You do have some birds that don't fly, but that's a very small exception to the rules. For the most part, what you have is a large group of women in our community that can never say that they've done anything wrong. Everything that happens is somebody else's fault. And because of that, I think it kind of naturally puts them in a position where they have to have leadership, because you cannot be the head holder. You can't even raise children if you can't do self-evaluation and look at maybe what you're doing wrong. And they just lack the ability to do it.
All right.
I mean, I don't really need to say anything else. I mean, he's so eloquent with what he you know, we all have ideologies and thoughts that kind of lie on a very similar spectrum. And I can understand why sometimes people feel like your views are very extreme. But one thing that I can say, and I'm gonna speak my piece personally, but I just wanted to piggyback off what you said. You're not disrespectful at all. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes when you have an unrelenting thirst for just truthfulness and transparency, that right there, when you know what I'm saying, when you get resistance with that, I think that's a telltale sign. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, and this is coming back to me now, I don't know what your viewers, you know, have chimed in. You know, if I've come across in the past like I've been hurt, it's because I have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I've been lied to, I've been hurt. I have tried my best to not let it deter me from who I am. Like, I'm still the same young man that I am. You know what I mean? I have a lot to give and I have a lot to bring to the table. But I realized that when I started to encounter a lot of misguided expectations, a lot of this whole, well, you the man, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that, but I'm like, can I ask you to do it? Like, it was getting too weird for me, and what I realized was that I needed to take a step back just from the dating scene. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, ladies, I'm not tripping. I ain't hurt. I know people ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? I just genuinely I'm just ready to value the person that says, hey, you know, I see who you are, brother. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to do everything in my power to not hurt you, you know what I'm saying? To kind of be there for you, you know what I mean? Like, I know the world got a target on you everywhere you go. So why would I want to add to that? Like, I'm looking for, not looking for, but I'm open to just a beautiful mind, just a beautiful spirit, you know what I'm saying? Like, someone, you know what I'm saying? Someone I can actually relax around, you know what I'm saying? I can engage in their life, they can engage in my life, and we can create a life together. And it's not about competition, because competition exists in relationships too. Mm-hmm. It's not about competition. It's not about me being. I enjoy being wrong, because if I'm never wrong, I can't learn anything. You know what I'm saying? And I think the right woman for the right man, the right woman is the difference between life and death in this world that we live in.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, we haven't quite figured out that balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people, I tell like my nieces, shouts out to my goddaughter, man. You had her mom on here, Star Baker.
Yeah.
Her daughter is my goddaughter. Her birthday was yesterday, and she's a beautiful young lady. But I try to talk to her. I try to talk to the young ladies in my life, and I always give. And I talk to all the young people in my life, and I give them this advice right here. And this is from a man's perspective, right? Mm-hmm. A protector. I will love you unconditionally. I will fight for you. I will protect you. I will do everything in my power to make sure that you're comfortable and you have a good life within reason, right? Don't put me in a situation to where I gotta go out of my way to defend you when you weren't, like, when you could have avoided it.
Right.
For example, my young niece, she's like my daughter. She'll be moving up here to go to West Georgia pretty soon. Had a conversation with her. I said, look, you're a very, very pretty young lady. I know the boys like you and all this. Be cautious, because if you ever call me up and you say this young man did something to you, what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ham. But I want you to think about the turning point. Did you put yourself in the right situation? Are you being cognizant of your environment? Are you not going? And not to say that because someone does something that something should happen, but that's just the way the world is. Things are jumping off everywhere. Mm-hmm. So if you're not aware, if you're not paying attention to what's going on in his life, and you just want to be seen and you just want to get attention, then this is when people say relationships and women primarily are dangerous, because they will just engage and not really understanding that men are extremely territorial. So all the lies and all the look, if you talking to me and you don't want to talk to me no more, shout it. Just say it. Don't introduce nothing else, because that A work that I put in, I'm gonna put that A work in on your ass too when you do something wrong. And I'm gonna be gentle about it, gentle yet firm. But once I see that you have no regard for my safety as a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. It has to be. I mean, there's a system of reciprocity that we have to do. Men, we sacrifice our bodies as protectors. I really feel like it's incumbent upon a woman to nurture that man's emotional well-being so he's not snapping. That's the whole purpose. You keep us calm. If you can't bring calm and peace to my life, what's the point? Mm-hmm. We can learn how to cook together. We can learn how to do a lot of stuff together. But if you can't bring calm and peace to my life, that's what I value and that's what I look for more than anything. Yeah, I want you to be attractive to me. Yeah, I want you to be smart to me. Yeah, I want you to have your things together to me, not to anybody else. Like, if you working and you in school or whatever, you got something going on and you ain't quite, I'm not looking at you like, oh, you know, you not a good match for me. I'm looking at your spirit. I'm looking at who you are when ain't nobody around. You know what I'm saying? Like who are you at the core? And I think, unfortunately, we don't really get that in Atlanta because no one takes the time out. And I think I may have said this before, but no one ever takes the time out to take some time to themselves, because we in a rush world. You go out, you see somebody attractive, or you meet somebody, and it's like, oh, wow, this person is saying anything to me. Well, I'm not always obligated to say something to you just because, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes maybe somebody not saying something, maybe that might be a good sign, you know what I'm saying? But it's like we do things just because. We treat relationships and sex in America the way we treat food. And that's why everybody is overweight and dying because of food. It's the same way we view sex. There's no faucet on people's sexual appetite. It's like, if you know what I'm saying? It's like for example, if I take a young lady out, and I'm just saying that this is hypothetical. If I take a young lady out and I'm doing, you know, and I think in my mind I'm doing the right things to be balanced and to not really do more than what I should, but do, you know what I'm saying, but still show that I'm a good man. I think it oftentimes it backfires because most guys are, hey, beautiful. I don't use that word loosely. You know what I'm saying? Right. I find beauty in things that are actually beautiful. I'm not going to just tell you that you're beautiful because you hear it so often. It doesn't resonate. It doesn't stick the same way. I would rather notice something about you that you think no one else noticed. And that's really, as a Virgo, like, that's one of my things, right? But I just realized, man, I mean, at the end of the day, it's okay to say no. You had Langston on here. Mm-hmm. And Langston was talking about it. He said one, and I agree with him. He said, brother's problem is that we don't say no. It's okay to say no to sex. If you just met somebody, you know what I'm saying, don't just do it because she throwing it. Like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that does not further our community. It actually devalues who we are as men. So when you say no, this young lady, at some point, she hear enough no's, or just anybody hear enough no's, they're going to be forced to evaluate, be like, why do I keep hearing no? You know what I'm saying? But we don't learn. We just hump and we get done. It's like, nah, I'm crazy because I didn't know how to handle it emotionally anyway. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just keep yourself, brothers. We win until we go in.
So the next,
just real talk.
The next question for y'all, they came ready for y'all today.
Let me see what these folks look like coming from. Hey, man, we appreciate it.
They want to know from y'all too, why does men have an issue with strong black women who are successful in their careers? And when she said, the thing is, they feel like they call women bitches for being strong. Not you, but in general, women are called bitches for being strong, opinionated, successful women. Where in our world, we are aggressive go-getters. So they want to know why is there a double standard from your opinions?
Oh, well, I mean, it's not for me. And so if you're attractive and you're strong and independent and you're successful, I want you to go into my inbox, send me your information.
We both kind of been campaigning.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. My mother was a strong black woman, but she was also a very wise and tactical and tactful and respectful woman. So I know what a strong black woman is, and I know that it doesn't just necessarily mean that that she's all around assertive. And every woman that's worth her salt knows when to hold and when to fold, and knows how to. They're better at that than we are. So that's not an excuse.
Absolutely.
In any way, shape, or form to be demeaning or disrespectful. But yeah, I'm actually probably, if women are listening, probably I've messed up because I probably haven't had a whole lot of strong black women as the choices that I've dated. So I'm open to it. Now, if you're an attractive, strong black woman, one of the things you really gotta ask yourself is if nothing is kind of stuck, you know, if you may want to do some self eval, and again, I know that's a little hard to do. Langston is so poetic, and the way that he explained some things before, and you know, about us, we date down, they date up. You know what I mean? And you know, so I want to dispel that and say that I'm willing to date up. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to be a partner for somebody who's strong and successful. So my name is Laris. It's Laris. Hodges, Hodgs. So it's just
look, I gotta let him finish with his
load up my inbox. I'm ready. Yeah.
I don't have a problem. I think you know what it is. Strong and independent has some kind of way. It has evolved culturally into combat between the sexes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't an adversarial process at all. To me, strength is not loud. Strength is not braggadocious. Strength is not, as a young lady, like I said, I'm a man's man. I can handle myself. I don't need your aggression in order for this to work smoothly. You know what I'm saying? What I need for you to balance me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? So when it comes to strong women, my mother is the strong, obviously, you know, of course I would say that because she is the strongest woman that I know, but my mother, you know, to me, has quiet strength. You know what I'm saying? Quiet strength is the strength that sustains. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like to be yelled at. You know what I mean? I'm sensitive. You yell at me, you try to boss me around, you're not getting called back. Because I wasn't raised by a woman who loud talked me and loud mouthed me. Even my dad, even you actually have, like, you and my dad's personality is very, very similar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, he was very, you know, he was a tall guy, soft spoken, you know what I mean, but had power, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was a powerful brother, but he was just very, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably the most expressive and emotional, you know what I'm saying, byproduct of my parents. So when I'm looking at a woman, you know, if you got to be loud, if can't nobody say nothing to you, if everything is always, you know, like, you ain't on my level, okay, well, we ain't even figured out what the level is yet. You know what I'm saying? Like for men and women, a lot of men overlook women because, men and women, especially down here, like, we're overlooking good partners over minor physical stuff that in like 20 years ain't gonna matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now if you have a certain thing that you like, it's okay to have, you know, like a plus or minus, you know what I'm saying? Have a variation. But when you stick to the same thing, like, nobody ate, like, I ate Hot Pockets as a kid. I ain't eating that stuff now, you know what I'm saying? Like I evolved, like, I grew. I knew that I didn't need that in my life. But I think a lot of men and a lot of young men, a lot of young women, they still have the same vision that they had in high school for people. Oh, I'm gonna go for this guy because he's tall. I'm gonna go for this girl because she got the big booty. You know what I'm saying? Like, brother, if you saw that she had a big booty and you went after it, then a lot of other people saw she had a big booty, they went after it. Humans are only but so strong. A man is only but so strong if women only coming to him because he's attractive. A woman is only but so strong when it comes to guys coming to her because she's attractive. Right. We wear each other down because we like, oh, I see something fine, I gotta have it. Nah, I believe in the Buddhist concept of if you see a pretty flower in the ground, you don't go and pluck it. You admire it and you water it and you let it grow and sustain. You know what I'm saying? Like you admire it from afar. It's not yours to control. So nah, I mean, I'm cool. Like as y'all can see, like I got a whole nother tone from where I had not previously been on this show. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm, it's straight, man. If you want me, you know what I'm saying. If you want me and you real about it. And I want you and I'm real about it, it's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm talking to somebody else and I'm trying to see where it go with you, but I don't wanna end what I got going on, ladies, we not gonna work. Because if you coming to the table with me, then me and you the only ones that eating. I can't be worried about. I'm a lie detector. So as soon as you send me a text message that's like out of your normal thing, I'm like I just know what's up. And that's what gets me in trouble because I'm a little smarter than the average bear when it comes to certain stuff. But nah, man, just love me, man. Just be fair and just give me what you want me to give you, man. We'll be straight. So ain't no beef. Love all y'all.
From my perspective, I've always had strong, successful women in my life. Whether it's my mom, her sisters all did very well. My cousins, they all are very strong, successful women. However, like you said, they're not very argumentative. It's a way to get your point across to a man while being argumentative, trying to emasculate them. And you can't do those things and say you're being strong. That's not what it is. So, and like you said, for me, the ones you watch out for is the quiet ones, the laid back ones. Cause
quietest be the livest.
I come with a punch. And so it's only certain, I'm not going to allow disrespect. I'm not going to give disrespect. And I think a lot of times, not all women, but women give disrespect or be very disrespectful. And because we as men choose not to deal with it, then not to take ownership, as you say, of the bad behavior, they say that we can't handle strong black women, and that's far.
That ain't strength though. You're being a bully. Like that's bullying.
Far from it, right?
That's bullying. Like you're not about to. Once again, my mama didn't yell at me. My dad didn't yell at me. I'd be damned for real. If I'm gonna spend my life with a woman who feel like the only result she can get from me is by yelling.
Right.
Is you crazy?
Let me tell you, my parents don't yell at me.
That's what I'm saying.
My parents taught me at an early age that you command and demand respect, including them. So at any point in time, if they would be disrespectful to me, I could bite that ass. And I would. That's how I was taught. Raised. So if my parents tell me they are not allowed to be disrespectful to me, what makes you think a woman can? They can't.
See, really, to be honest, I think men. You see, I'm keeping this on men and women because we're sharing a lot of the same negative traits, and we're just going back and forth.
Right.
You know what I mean? But real communication up front, which means if I just meet you, right? If I meet you and I see you out somewhere, it's very rare. It's unlikely that I just gonna walk up to you and talk anyway, because like this world is just so weird. You know what I'm saying? Like you thinking that you vibe, they be like, nah, I was just on my phone. I just, you know what I'm saying? What like you just never know sometimes. But people sometimes like they kind of go for things and it's not even necessarily what you need. Like you may not even need that at the time. You may not even necessarily need to be, in a relationship or have somebody to, you know what I'm saying? Or like it doesn't always have to be like, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say here. It's like number one is it's a challenge. It's a challenge to even get the dialogue to where if I meet you, especially in Atlanta, if you're attractive, I expect you to be I almost expect it now. I expect you to be talking to other people. You know what I'm saying? But I also expect you to just say that you're talking to other people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They can't do that,
but
because
unfortunately,
they might miss out on some free gifts or something. See, they ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? And I agree with you. I am 100% in agreement with you. But the lies are because everybody wants to keep getting free stuff, man. You know what I mean? It is. I've never seen.
It ain't free.
It ain't free. But in their mind, their goal is to figure out how they can steal the cheese and not get caught by the trap. You know what I mean? And so they've gotten away with it so many times. But the issue here is that you can't be a strong black woman and be all that and still be dependent on outwitting men to get free stuff all the time. You know what I mean? That's oxymoronic. Don't you think? You can take care of yourself, but you're a liar so you can get free stuff. That doesn't make any sense. But that's what we're dealing with. Nobody wants to be upfront about anything. They can't tell you they're dealing with another guy, because then you might be like, well, I'm glad she told me that. I wasn't going to spend this money on Papados tonight. So
but it's okay though. I mean, to be honest, you ain't got to. It's the fear of loss. This is what I said before you got here. It's the fear of loss. You know what I'm saying? So if I meet you, whether or not so one more thing, no more online anything for me for this particular musical monk. There will be no more online interactions, because that is the cesspool. That is the breeding ground. If you want to get lied to, if you're on social media, hold on now. If you're on a dating app and you are a genuine sister and you just have a busy schedule and it's hard to meet people, I feel you. I'm an extroverted introvert. I'm at the house chilling most of the time, so it's really hard. Like, I don't really come in contact with a lot of people. But the internet is the land of anonymity, and it allows people to be whoever and whatever they want to be. With that being the case, the reason why it's not for me is because most of the time, because it's like you're inundated with messages and communication, this, that, and the third, there's no real incentive for anybody to tell the truth about anything. So that's really been one of my biggest, and I see the theme here is one of the reasons why we have taken this stance and why we seem to be a little bit tender on things, no pun intended, but it's because the lies hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, the lies are unnecessary. Like, if I just met you, I don't even know your last name, right? Yeah. We're just meeting. You ain't gotta lie. You ain't, like, to be honest, that if you say you want a friend, you say you want somebody to respect you, you want somebody to grow with, how can you expect to grow on a lie?
Right.
If I meet you and you talking to somebody else, be like, you know what, I like you, I'm digging you, I'm talking to somebody else, you know what I'm saying, we just met, I'm going out tonight. Well, you know what I would say as a man? Have fun, be safe.
That's right.
Hit me when you get
exactly.
I'm sorry, I didn't know what you were about to say, but I tell you, man, I've talked to a lot of people about this. The problem really does start with us. It's because we've been so weak for sex for so long that it's created this problem. And that's why a woman, I haven't done any online dating, but I hear a lot about it from a lot of people. And that's why people can misrepresent themselves. And they think, you know what, as long as we get out, get to hanging out, have a few drinks, he's going to have sex with me. And then because men just like to have sex, then after that, he's going to look past all this other stuff. So, it's because of how weak we've been. Because I've had women, and we're not in the same league, dog. Let's not even play that game. All right? But the thinking is, well, he's a man, so he'll take the sex. And that's why everybody thinks they can hide behind all this other stuff. And at some point, they're banking on their body. They're banking on their vagina. Bottom line, period. And that's why they like, I can lie to him long enough to where I can get him in bed, and then he'll like me, and he'll look past all the other stuff. And that's just what's going on. They're like, well, I don't have to be honest up front. I could tell him later once I don't know what type of magical potion women think that they're toting around their vagina. But they bank on it. That's why they think they can lie and get away with it. Well, once he sleeps with me, then at that point he's in. And
the misconception is that it's the sex. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. What it is men, not good men, but these folks that we having issues with, that y'all having issues with, it's the lack of that water follows the path of least resistance. So if that's what you got to offer, and if that's your litmus test, then after a while, you know, it doesn't work because you're thinking that you're keeping him because of the sex. No, you're keeping him because of the lack of resistance to the sex. Mm-hmm. A man, if a man can get sex, it don't matter. He ain't gonna tell you that it ain't all that good. He not gonna tell you that. You know what I'm saying? He's just gonna be like, oh, she giving it up, water flows. All right, well, shit, I'm a cup. You know what I'm saying? It's your real talk. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. We have to be more selective. We got to be like, hey, and I see a lot of beautiful women out there, and I just be like, I just know me. You know what I'm saying?
So I know everybody might not like Steve Harvey, but he made something. He said something in his book that the women use to apply in relationships. But I think it goes both ways, especially when you get men of a certain age where they're trying to settle down their lives.
The 90-day rule?
The 90-day rule.
I knew you was going to say the 90-day rule.
I think that's a great idea.
It's a brilliant idea.
Matter of fact, let's double that. Let's make it 180 days.
Let's make it okay. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna create a couple of little concepts here, and it's up to you guys if you guys want to kind of want to marinate on this. But so things that I feel like will help us out. Mm-hmm. We have to remove, and I'm probably talking to the guys, but probably talking to everybody too. Get the porn out your life.
Yeah.
Nah, for real.
Right.
Get the porn out your life because it desensitizes your emotion. You know Absolutely. What I'm saying? Get that out your life. For men, I would challenge men in some way or another to abstain from excessive masturbation. Okay?
Right.
Now, I know y'all like, well, where he going with this? Because y'all know exactly where I'm going with this. So what excessive masturbation does to you in your life is it creates a hormonal imbalance. It desensitizes you to intimacy. It causes ED. You know what I'm saying? And it also depletes your it depletes your vitamin. It depletes your energy, your chi. You release a lot of nutrients and a lot of energy. I mean, you gotta think like the DNA that your body produces is 1/2 of the recipe for the key to life. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's important, but when you desensitize yourself visually and you always, you know what I'm saying, like you man, trust me, y'all, if you chill out on the porn for real, you will always have the best sex of your life.
Exactly, because I didn't really realize how big a problem it is.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge, man. It's huge.
I was watching this show on YouTube, this radio show on YouTube, and the guy, one of the radio hosts, he admitted that he masturbates 5 times a day.
Okay. 5
times a day. He wakes up to masturbation. I'm
you
like,
still got something left in the tank, huh?
Now,
right. Impressive. I'm impressive.
I mean, that's not something I would go around and be like, hey, yeah,
that's an all-out addiction.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a no fap movement. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I appreciate my life and I value things more when I didn't have an influx of just generic sexual images at my disposal. We got phones, we got tablets, we got so many different ways we can pull up. I mean, damn, like Pornhub gave Kanye a lifetime membership just for something. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We have become so desensitized to sex. It's like we give it away, not really understanding that you're giving away a piece of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're taking in somebody else. A lot of people walking around frustrated and crazy because they got a dozen demons in their body. They don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying?
Even when you watch it, you're taking in the spirit of whoever it is watching that movie. And so, you all that, so when I talk about a detox, that includes that.
Yeah, man.
That includes social media.
Because I don't want half y'all hands I want to shake. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm just being honest with you. I can give you the fist bump.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, question is, if y'all was dating a young lady,
sure,
and we all at the age we'll probably date women that have kids, and she came to you, Monk, and said, "Yo, I need $20 to pay for little Ray Ray's school field trip. Would you do it?"
You asking me first?
Yep.
Okay. So, just to be honest, my birthday's at the end of the month. I'll be, I'm pretty well into my 30s. It doesn't really serve me as a young man without children to really get too invested with a woman with children, unless the situations are, unless it's extenuating circumstances. So I'm going to say no, that I'm not. And the reason why I'm not is because now I care about my community, but if you didn't know me, what would you do?
Right.
Number one. Number two, you're asking me for money for your child. I don't really know what level we're on. Now, if the child's father is deceased, or if the child's father is incarcerated, and me and this young lady have just really just fallen in love, like I see this is the, this is the woman that I want to grow with and see where this thing goes, then I would just, I would have a that's a conversation that we should have about our expectations before the question comes up. Okay. But if you just pop that on me, like, hey, Lil Ray Ray need to go to Zoo Atlanta, I need $20, I'm gonna be like, well, ask your mama. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because Lil Ray Ray, I like, you want money from me, but when Lil Ray Ray need discipline, it's come hell or high water, I can't come near him. You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna take my money, and then at the same time, when Lil Ray Ray is disrespectful, or when he's lazy, or when he needs a man's attention to jumpstart his testosterone and his man building, you mad because that's your baby. So whatever your relationship is with your child, at the end of the day, you laid down to have the child. It's a beautiful thing, but I can't necessarily be responsible for that, because it's going to be $20 this time. The next time it's going to be uniforms. The next time it's going to be this. The next time it's going to be that. And then eventually it'll probably evolve into you knowing that that's the way you can get money from me. So you'll put it on the kid. Oh, the kid needs something, but you really want to go get your nails done. But you know that asking for money to get your nails done make you look bad. So you try to simp me out because the soft spot is the kid. I don't really understand the dynamics of these baby daddy, baby mama relationships too tough. But I've seen that it never benefits the person that doesn't have kids in a relationship. So my brothers, if you don't have children and you want to have children, I would urge you not to necessarily reject all women with children, but just be a little bit more discerning, because once you involve yourself in that woman's life with all of those kids and her habits and her rituals that she has set up for her household, you are giving up a lot of who you are. You will never be an equal in that household without giving up way more than what you have to offer just to get a little bit back in return. Now, I don't understand why I see in some cultures, I see it differently. You know what I'm saying? Now, we had blended families and stuff growing up too. You know what I mean? Like through the days. But now it's just too much irresponsibility, especially with expectations from people. So, nah, my sister, I'm not going to give you $20. Now, if you said, hey, can Lil Ray Ray come over there and help you around, help some stuff out around the house because he's trying to earn money to go on his field trip? Oh, I'm with it, because that's mentorship. I'm teaching him a skill. He gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see something coming out of it. But if you just ask me for $20, and then when he come in and he ain't doing his homework, and I'm like, well, why he ain't doing his homework? Oh, because, he ain't got to do it. And I'm like, well, don't you think he should do his homework? That's my son. See, now I got a problem.
Right.
So you can't expect it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's I don't want to use the word double standard, but no. If you want to send him over to earn some money, then yeah, he can cut some grass, rake some leaves to earn the right to go that trip, and let me know in advance. You know what I'm saying?
What you think?
If I'm in that situation.
Oddly enough, I agree 100% with everything that Monk said, and I still would give the money. All right, and here's why. If I'm really into the woman, then it doesn't matter.
Which is kind of what I said.
And that's the only thing. And so at this stage in my life, I try to, as best I can, to have meaningful relationships, right? With the intent on, it would be a dream come true for me, a recent dream come true, that the next woman I date, I marry. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Right. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter. If I'm into her like that, I wouldn't mind. But I thought, before you said it, my first thinking was that I would use it as an opportunity to say, well, I don't have to tell her, or maybe I could tell her, but I wouldn't have to tell Ray Ray. I'd say, look, Ray Ray, I hear you got a field trip you got to go to. So we got to figure out how we're going to raise this money. You know what I mean? And it is an opportunity to teach him how to fish, to guide him, to impart some things on him that may not have been imparted. That's our moral duty as men in any relationship, is to be leadership. If it's allowed, if the woman will allow you to be leadership for her, and certainly then, if she's willing to do that, then you can be leadership for the child, right? But if you can't be leadership for her, then you can't be leadership for the child. And that's a real reality at our age. Very likely, if we're going to get a mature woman who is battle tested in life and been through some things, and there's a good chance that she already has children. So that's something that we have to consider. Now, I did want to say this earlier, and I hope that I don't offend anybody with this, because I'm not trying to do that. But I think I may have told you before. I know I told my barber. You know, a lot of what we're dealing with is quasi-prostitutes out here, right? You know, okay. And so I did say that I would, if I'm gonna marry a prostitute here, then I'll just go to Dominican and get me an exotic-looking prostitute. You know, and so what I hope for. Well, come on, man.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you though. If I'm gonna be used, I don't
want to be used to help it.
But I at least want people to be jealous.
So can you elaborate what you mean by the prostitution part? I know what you're talking about. We had a
Sure. Okay, so the reason why I like what Monk was saying about the $20 is that it's a good chance that she has the $20, but she has to go and get her eyelashes done, which means absolutely nothing to any man walking the face of the earth. They spend their money on the craziest things just to impress other women. I mean, so they don't have money to contribute to the household and bills because they spend it all on things that don't mean anything. You know what I mean? And so if you can't give her the attention, or if you can't pay this bill, let's say you can help out with the rent, but you can't help out with the power bill or whatever. A lot of these women are sleeping with 3 and 4 different guys to get their bills paid, man. You know what I'm saying? And even if they look at it as that, they try to take that, well, I'm liberated and I wanted to do this. You know, it's being sexually free and then getting your bills paid by laying on your back. Those are 2 totally different things. And that sounds, I put a post up on my page. That sounds an awful lot like prostitution.
Yeah.
You know, and so what I'm saying is that because it's more prostitution than not prostitution, in the sense of there are more women who are sleeping with men, multiple men, even because 2 is multiple, to get things that they need for their household and to get their bills paid. And if you're sleeping with a man because he's helping you pay bills, you're a prostitute. And what I'm saying is that there's more of that going on. I work in the club industry. I'm out there, man. I've been living in Atlanta for 13 years, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to tell me what I don't see in the city. So if you don't live in the city, I don't even want to hear what you have to say, because I'm down here. I've been ask about me. I've been in the streets for a long time. And so what I'm saying is I know what's going on out here. You know, so if I'm going to marry, all I'm saying is that I'm going to marry an exotic prostitute. I'm not going to marry a homegrown prostitute. If I'm going to get a prostitute, I'm going to get her from Dominican Republic.
At least won't nobody recognize her when you go out in public.
Exactly. And I'll make sure that she speaks very little English. I'm going to keep her away from y'all, my ass. You know what I'm saying? So she don't get influenced.
So my sisters, my mother, as I got older, she would tell me, she was just like, well, she would be like, well, the older you get, it's gonna be harder to find a woman without children. And I started to kind of process that, and I was a little bit softer until I realized I was getting torched in these relationships with these, you know what I'm saying, if they got a child. And and because I bring so much to the table, it's like, well, you're awesome, but I ain't got to be all that awesome because I'm just gonna kind of just keep trying to pump you up so you can keep going. Well, my point is that, sisters, I know there's a lot of beautiful, intelligent black women out there that, you know, got great mindsets, personalities, got a lot to bring to the table, creative, doing y'all's thing, and y'all don't have children. So, you know, all of y'all ain't got kids. But so the ones that don't have kids, if you was born between 81 and 86 and you ain't got no kids, I'm holler at your boy, man.
They gonna move fast too. Like,
I know
you get with one of them,
I know
you had this deal wrapped up in 6 months to a year.
But I know because I realized one of my best friends is going through. Actually, all of my friends are divorced except for one. But one of my best friends is kind of he's like a big brother to me. He's going through a separation with his wife, and I'm close with both of them. And his wife, my sister, was she had hit me up. We was just texting. Oh, we got a line? We got a call? We got a call? Oh, okay. This is about to be interesting. Let's take this call.
I don't know. How's it work?
It better. Hit
Speaker.
that speaker by a little below.
Is it on
Hey,
air?
that's what I was hoping for.
Is it on air?
Yeah. Hey,
Oh.
Sarah. Hey, Vaughn. Hey, Kevin. What's going on, guys?
All right. How you doing today?
Hey, how's it going?
All right.
It's fine. It's Brenda. So, I'm listening to all the good, thought-provoking comments you both have had to say. And so I'm not like in disagreement with some of the things that I'm hearing. Not at all. What I guess maybe I need clarity on is why do all women get grouped in the same category? Because everybody is not looking to prostitute or trade sex to get their bills paid, but for the ones who don't do it, we get grouped into the same category for the ones out there doing it. And it doesn't matter how long you're quote unquote hanging out and getting to know each other, your body never gets something you didn't create per se individually with the person that you have interest in or that has potential.
Right. I don't know at what point you're tuning in. Now, I know I said, and I should have re-clarified it later on in discussion. I did say that not all birds fly. You got ostriches that don't. Yeah, and chickens actually can get it kind of flutter up in the air.
I think you need a better analogy at this point. Just for the clarification part.
Well, okay. Ostriches, there's no negative connotation attached to that, But I'm saying that to say that not just about all birds do, but there are some birds that don't. And it's not all, but needles in a haystack are very hard to find, nonetheless.
But how do you differentiate when one is presented to you? Because they come along and, but they just get brushed over or grouped in, like I said, lumped in the category of, with the rest. And I say that because, like, for instance, the whole thing about, women need money to get their bills paid. Well, what's wrong with, asking a guy, even if it's somebody you're interested in, is there something I can do to earn some money, whatever, if it's cleaning your house, doing your laundry. I know a lot of guys don't like to do a lot of housework or things, whether it be they don't have the time, they suck at it, or they would just rather pay somebody else to do it. There are all kind of ways you can earn some extra money, that does not require you trying to prostitute your body.
I have yet to have a young lady come in my life and say, hey, what can I do to earn some extra money? So I get what you're saying, and the dialogue that I presented, I have been very fair and very balanced. I have not lumped anybody into any categories. I actually just made an outward gesture towards all the young, beautiful black women who have been, who don't have kids and who are doing things the right way. It's not everyone. So if it doesn't apply to you, then it's actually cool to kind of just be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of cool to open up your eyes and your ears and be like, okay, this is what's going on. It's not me, but I understand what's going on. But when you hear something, you say, why is everybody lumping everybody together? No one on this platform has lumped anyone together. I think Laris was speaking specifically on what he was speaking on. My brother Kev was, and so was I. So I don't quite know how long you've been listening, but I think we've provided a very, very balanced outlook and perspective from three very intelligent and well-spoken brothers about our particular plights. So when you asking someone from their particular standpoint, we can only go by the people that we've encountered. Everything else would just be presumptive.
True. So you never encountered any of the opposite of what you guys have been discussing on this panel the whole night, like throughout your dating career, not career, but history with women? Like,
yeah.
And that's all I'm asking, because most of the time when I'm tuned in, when you all three are on the show, I never hear stories about the opposite. I always hear the same stories about, well, the ones that are out here doing X, Y, Z. But you never share the experience that you had. The relationship maybe just didn't work out because, for whatever reason, because you didn't have the same vision goals, or you just weren't compatible, to get serious to work towards marriage. But I've never heard you guys talk about it.
But you ain't gonna talk. You ain't gonna talk. You gonna see.
I can always speak for myself. I have said it on a couple of times on my show and maybe on your show. I always acknowledge a particular person, especially during the time I got sick, because it's someone I see. We're not in a committed relationship, but I do see her. And
you didn't tell me about that.
Yeah, I have a nurse. I have a nurse that I go out with and whatever, and
this is getting good.
We're not in a committed relationship or anything like that. But one thing I do know for a fact that I always speak highly of her is because when I had my situation going on, I'm not the most affectionate dude or the most emotional dude.
You don't say.
No. So I am that guy. Acts of service does me a lot.
Right.
So when she called me and said, I'm coming to pick you up, 'cause I know you can't drive right now. Let's go get something to eat. You got the house. That first step was awesome to me.
Right.
That showed that she cared.
Right.
Well, when she came and picked me up, she gave me 2 boxes of compression stockings. For those who don't know, those keep my legs tight.
Yeah, blood circulation.
Blood circulation.
Yeah.
That meant more to me than anything, because that shows thought. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I always speak about that, because I don't want nobody to think, that I never encountered any good women, because I have.
Yeah,
I have
encountered some good women.
my love of my life, I still love her to this day, but we just not meant to be at this present moment. But I will always be highly of her. But they're all the ones that you encountered lately that come with the BS,
right?
And they come with the stuff like, now I've had more crazier encounters since I moved down here.
Of course you have.
Than up north, because they come with this BS, and they want to come with the, they determine their self-worth based on what they do and who they are.
Facts, man. Facts.
And when I'm that dude, I will challenge you. I will say, you tell me who you are without saying what you do, how much money you make, where you live, your social economic status.
Not, man.
Tell me who you are with that, and then I'll be able to see if we can talk. And they can't do it. I've done it several times. They cannot do it. So then when I say, well, then you're not on the same level as me. And then they want to say I'm cocky. No, I'm not cocky. This is what it is.
Yeah,
you can't challenge me and say that I'm not on your level because I choose not to tell you what I do for a living, because what I do is not who I am. And then I ask you, if you want to be on my level, tell me who you are, but don't tell me who you are without describing what you do.
Or what you have.
And they can't do it.
When I meet that young lady, Miss Rucker, I'm gonna bring her up here.
Yeah, I have no
facts.
problem.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna, I give credit where credit is due.
No problem celebrating the women.
Right now we need
because I want men to celebrate the women, the great women that's in my life.
Right.
However, we gotta be able to tell the truth from our experiences, and not everybody think we're trying to say that all women are bad. That's not true. Because when women say things bad about men, I don't care, because it doesn't apply to me. Cause I know what I do, and I know what I bring to the table.
I'm
so
different.
I don't get mad. I don't get mad at all.
I actually kind of join in. I'll be like, yeah, they pretty jacked up out here. They
I
dudes is messed
him,
up.
I ask him. I be like, well, what have you encountered? And then when I hear when I see a pattern, that's what I know.
Yeah.
If all your dudes was bad, because all my women ain't been bad. It's just been timing. You might be young, you might be, you know what I'm saying, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They ain't all been bad. But just recently, in the last 10 years, it's gotten crazy because there's been an influx of people from different areas. And everyone brings their own culture and how they view dating and relationships. And it's become this amalgamation of no focus, no, you know what I'm saying, no sort of ideology or anything. So that's why we're having the conversation. It's not all women at all. It's not all men. But that's what y'all want to hear about. If this show was all positive, if we talked about how happy we were, none of y'all would listen.
Well, you know, none of y'all. Get
out of here.
I mean, with regard to and I said this before, and I think that I can look introspectively and know that it's definitely been applicable to me. My coach, Little League coach, told me a long time ago, the way you practice, the way you're gonna play in the game.
Yeah.
Facts.
And what I'm saying is that I probably have come across the right women but couldn't see them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because of where I was mentally. And it works the same way with women. So a woman cannot be out here hoeing around and then she say, when I find a good guy, I'm gonna straighten up. It doesn't work that way because you still act in a manner of what it is that you're constantly exposed to. You know what I mean? So you're repelling things that you really do need, and you do it ignorantly.
Now I know we're about to wrap up, but someone told me, and this is gonna be Monk's piece on the way out.
All right.
Someone told me that a good man is gonna be a good man through his actions. So when you meet somebody and they say, "Oh, I'm a good man," or "I'm a good woman," you probably need to watch out for them because of somebody that's really good in their essence and in their spirit. They don't have to project. They just are.
Right.
So I know y'all out there, we out there, man. Let's just link up, man, and just hope it works. All right?
Parting shots.
I agree with all that. So have you ever thought about doing, I guess you could say, a dating experiment where you just solely focus on dating that person for 30 days straight, and you really put forth an effort to spend time to get to know that person before, of course, don't have any sex or anything like that. I mean, just genuinely intentional effort.
Yeah, I mean, if the initial foundation is set up and it's conducive to that, then yeah. But I'm not gonna spend 30 days with you when I got red flags the first 2 days. What I need the other 28 days for? Like that's illogical.
I understand that, but let's just kind of go with the assumption that this you don't have the deal breakers.
If it's great, it's great. Then I'm rocking. I don't have a problem.
Actually, we have said.
Have you ever done it, or would you be open to doing something?
I have.
Oh yeah,
done
I'm actually.
I can turn that into a segment of his show.
I have done it. And actually, we had said, I don't know when you start watching, but we had said that we all said.
I kind of got on late.
We all had said maybe we should try to do 6. We said 180 days.
Yeah, that's 6 months. That's 6 months.
180.
That's a shade under 6 months.
Yeah.
Because nobody can hold the lie that long.
Right.
And by then you're gonna see consistency, you're gonna see inconsistency, you're gonna find out who you are. You know what I'm saying? While you're with that person. So no, I have no problems.
And you're gonna build you're gonna build a true friendship because once you start having sex, the friendship it goes from building love into lust. So everything you do is based out of lust. So like you said, the 180 days.
I'm with it, man.
That will give you a chance to figure out.
No porn, 180 days just talking, getting to know somebody. Hey, it's not a waste of time. You can only add and build value to your, to the mosaic of your journey. You know what I'm saying? So hey, with that,
thank you.
Is a lot of men really addicted to porn to that magnitude?
Well, absolutely.
We're gonna have to say this first.
Absolutely.
I'm asking y'all because y'all are guys, but
America has a porn problem. It cannot be regulated to just, you know what I'm saying?
Women have a porn problem too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Because on the same show that I was looking at, the guy said he watched porn 5 times a day, and the female said she does too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both of them.
Everyone's becoming desensitized.
How do they get any work done like that?
It's very sticky. It's very sticky.
I guess when you in that industry and you
very
out in
sticky.
LA, you got time to do all that.
I guess so.
Well, thank you, ma'am, for calling in.
Thanks for calling in. Good to hear from you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Guys, have a good evening.
You too.
Have a good show and good quality content.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks for having me out, Kevin.
Appreciate you, dude.
Always have a good time
Great
here. Yeah.
Great job. I like what you said, though.
Yeah, I told you, man. I'm trying to come. I'm trying to evolve. I'm trying to
That,
get a little better
that
each
porn
time. Man.
thing, that ain't no joke.
I think that might have found me a wife.
Really?
I said that my statement might have found there's some young lady out there looking like this brother said he ain't addicted to porn and cut grass. I cut grass and I ain't addicted to porn.
See, she's not the typical. She's the typical woman. You know, they
Are we still on? Okay.
They gonna hear. We can say what we say, but they gonna always say that we try to make a thing like this. We talking about all.
That's why I handled that the way. That's why I handled it.
And talk negatively about. No, that's not true. Because I've said on more than one occasion, people.
If I get in your mouth as a dentist, bro, and I get to hitting that cold water and drilling, and you start yelling, that means I hit a cat.
Oh, we're still on.
Why is it my face, the boys? I thought we was done. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's dirty.
Oh, shit.
Hey, it's your boy Music Monk.
We are out. Peace.
All
right.
We got to get up out of here.
I see my face, the boys. I thought we was done.
Or something.
We still.